Hi there, welcome to the Brad Young channel, welcome to my Friday Sews. First, I'd just like to start by thanking Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room for creating the hashtag Friday Sews. So, let's have a look at what I have been doing. Now, some of you may have seen, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, I started doing a mock-up for a pattern that I was trying out, and it is the Butterick 4669, that one. Which is a corset pattern, and I am making view C, which is this one over here, with the straps that come over and then sort of tied together, and it's front fastening. It's quite a simple design, and I'd done one mock-up and did it straight from the pattern without any changes because I wanted to see how it sat and how it was going to fit and see if there were any alterations that I was going to need to make. And as it happens, I did need to make a few alterations, so that's what I've done. I've made a second mock-up of the pattern with those few alterations and things that I needed to do to see if I can get a better fit before I actually make it for the real, with the good fabric. So what I'll do is I'll stand up and have a look at both of the mock-ups. So here we are with the first mock-up that I did, and as you can see, it seems all right, it looks okay. It's a bit tight. I realised that once I'd done this mock-up, I needed to go up a size. It wasn't fitting me well. The back seemed all right, didn't mind the back, seemed okay, but it's too tight around this waistline. It's obviously too tight here. It wouldn't, if I put the holes in for a closure, it would be hard to pull that too. It'd be a bit too restrictive. And also this seam line, there's too much, it's too loose here, there's too much material in there. So I realised that I had to first of all go up a size. It's the first thing I'd have to do, and then the other main thing would be to adjust this seam line to take out some of the excess material that I've got here, so it will suit my body form much better. But yeah, overall though, it was worked quite fine. I quite like this mock-up. And here we are with mock-up number 2. Now this time it does fit much better. I think it does. I think it fits really quite nicely. I've used safety pins again to bring the front together, even though obviously you'd put the holes in and it'd be laced with some sort of lace. I'm not sure what yet, haven't really decided, but it would work in this size. So I'd gone up a size. I think I did a 16 to start with, so this will be the size 18. And I think it comes together a lot better. The other major thing that I've done besides going up a size is change the this curvature on this basically a princess seam here, so that's been changed to fit my body form a lot better, and yeah, I think that's come out really quite nice. So I'm quite happy with this mock-up now. Straps seem all right, so yeah, they're meant to sort of sit slightly on the edge of the shoulder rather than up close. So yeah, I think that fits quite nice, certainly better than the first mock-up. I think what I've done by taking it up a size and making the adjustment here has worked loads. I have altered the shape of this front piece as well, because the way it was designed, it was actually sloping outwards like that and bigger gap at the bottom, mainly I suppose because it's presuming that you're going to have a much smaller waist, but obviously if you've got a thicker waist, then you need to adjust it. So the adjustment I did, having done this seam, was to adjust this part and effectively change the angle of the front so it would meet as a nice straight down. Yeah, so yes, I did do quite a bit of work to this front piece to adjust it. I also had to make it longer because it seemed like the pattern piece that I cut out wasn't really long enough. It's almost like it was a size down from what it should be, even though I did cut out all of the same size. So that was another bit of an issue with it. So yeah, adjusted this panel quite a bit and this seam line. But other than that, I think it's come out really, really nice. I haven't put the bias binding that you're meant to make to put on it, and it's going to go all round it, all over it, so there's a lot of binding to go on there. Of course, I didn't want to do that until I was actually making the good one, but yeah, all in all, I quite like this. It sits really nicely on me, I reckon. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. So on with the main make now that the two mock-ups have been completed. Yeah. Onwards, I say. Now I have started on another project, another little pattern that I quite like. It is the Butterick 6760, and it's this one. A really nice little pattern. You can have it as either a dress, which is view A, or as like they call it a romper in view B, with like a short section to it. So I'm doing view A, which is the dress section. Which is the dress version, which is what I like the look of. I prefer that one. And I actually had this pattern given to me by one of my viewers, who you know who you are, so thank you very, very much for sending me this pattern. It's a brilliant little pattern. I do like it. So I've started having a go at that and trying to make it. And I'm not... Well, it's a little bit of an odd one, because on the pattern you see that there's a tie piece at the front, but that tie piece isn't just the belt, it's actually part of the garment. It comes round from the back. So what I've done is I've just done the bodice section, the top bit, to try and work out how it works. And also on this there's a princess seam, so I know that on a princess seam I'm going to have to adjust that, because it'll never fit my body shape. So I know that I'm going to have to do an adjustment on that. So you've got this bit, this section here, as you can see. Now it does have a lining, so you'd make the main piece, your outer and your lining, then you'd stitch them together and draw it through. So obviously it won't be quite as wide as this. It'll get turned down a bit because of having the lining in there. But as you can see, it's a bit of an odd one, because let me just sort of put it on so you can see. There you go, that's the front there, and then these bits cross over on the back, so they come round, and that's the thing, they're a bit long and a bit of a strange way of doing it. And then you've got the other side, and that will come across as well from the back. This all seem a bit twisted up really, but anyway, they, as you can see, they come round the front, and then they give that tension, so you can tension the back to come across. Now there is a skirt section. I've not done the skirt section yet. I just wanted to have a go and have a look at how this top section works, because for me, I know that already there's a lot of bagginess here. I'll have to adjust this seam. I always do. Princess seams don't sit well with me unless I adjust them for my body shape, and that's just the way it is, you know. But then these bits go round the back. I don't know if you can see that. You know, they go round the back to form the back section. So you have a gap at the back, because it seems to attach on at the skirt section between here and here. So obviously the skirt is almost like a sort of slightly separate event, and then this ties up at the front. So yeah, so all in all, it's a nice little sort of dress and styling. I like it, but I think obviously it's going to take a little bit of work to get used to working out how I put the lining on. I've got to turn it all through, and the other thing being that I've got to adjust this seam here to get rid of some of this bagginess. So that'll be the main work that I'll have to do. But once I've sorted that seam out, I think, and understood how the lining for the top section goes, the skirt looks like it's just a regular skirt really, with a zip on the back. You just attach it at this point here on the front. So yeah, all in all, not a bad little project, I think. Just obviously take me a little bit of time to get used to working out what I've got to do to get it right. But yeah, looking forward to pushing on with that one. So yeah, that's two makes that I've been getting on with. And as per usual, I have been in my local thrift store again. I have found a little bit of something, and this time it's some lace trimming. So let's have a look at that. Now, the first one I've got, I'll start with the thinnest, as it were, not necessarily the least amount, because I got quite a chunk from most of these. I've got a decent amount, and the first one is this one, which is really quite a nice. It's almost, I can only describe the colour that I'm seeing. It's almost like a very light peach, and that's the only way I can describe it. But yeah, that's a nice little trim, bit of lace, and of course there's a reasonable amount there. So yeah, that was the first one, and the second one is a wider one, and I've got a reasonable amount, but not as much. Actually, it sits that way up, I think. Now this one isn't in such good condition. It's a little bit frayed on the bottom, but generally it's not too bad. So yeah, that's another nice one. Now this has got a more of a, call it what they would call natural colour that you'd get, you know, like underwear. They say it's the colour natural or whatever. I think that's more like what that colour is. But yeah, that's a nice one. I do like that. Being a bit wider, more like a couple of inches width. And then I've got this one, which is a really pretty one. Now this is meant to be, it's a very slightly off-white. It's got a slight cream colour to it, even though it probably looks quite white on the screen there to what you might be looking at. It's got a tiny bit of stretch in this. I don't want to stretch it too much because it doesn't seem to recover very well, but there is a little bit of stretch in there, a little bit of give. So there we go, that's the third one, that's the third lace, and that's very nice. No idea what I use any of these for, I haven't got a clue as yet, but they're nice to have, especially when you find them. The next one is a really wide one. Oh, this is like 3-inch width, is it, or something? It must be. And this is a blue. And that is really nice. I really like that. It's a really sort of pretty lace, but really wide. That's the other thing. I don't know why I'd use that for, because it's really wide, and it is a lovely sort of mid to dark blue. Maybe it's not, maybe a royal blue. I'm not really sure, but yeah, that is a very, very nice pattern, that one. And again, I've got quite a bit of it as well. So there you go. And the last one is this. Which way is the front? I don't think it makes any difference. It's with this, what might be the front. I'll have this, and this is even wider than the blue. So this is like good 4 inches easy, I suppose, in its width. This brown lace, and that again is very, very nice. I've no idea what I would be able to use that for, but it is nice to have. So yeah, I saw them in the thrift store, so I picked them up, and I think I picked them up for it's about £2 for all of them, and I've got quite a bit of each one. And I know they're probably synthetic, they're probably something like polyester or nylon or something like that. They're not going to be, they don't feel like a cotton or anything, but there you go. I mean, for £2, that is brilliant. That's a brilliant, nice stack of lace to put in my stash, so that if I do feel like I want to put some lace on something, I might just have the right thing to put with it. So there we go, my thrifting. So there you go, that was my week. That's how it went. One mock-up finished, gives me the chance to be ready to actually go on and get all the bits and all the stuff that I want to make that that corset for proper, as it were, with the good material, and make sure I get through that nice. And I'm going to take it slow and easy with that. I'm not going to rush it. So again, it might be a couple of weeks maybe before that one is actually ready. So just want to be sure about it as I'm doing it. And besides, I'll have to get the rivet hole things for the lacing to go on the front there, which I haven't got yet. So that's another thing to get hold of. And I've got to sort out the biasing, which I could make from the main material. Depends how much material I've got, if I can actually do that, or whether I want to buy a bias tape separately and make it that way. So still a few decisions to make, but the main pattern is how I want it. And obviously that other pattern I'm having to go at. So hopefully as long as I can get that seam line sorted and just work out how the lining goes together, then hopefully that will come together quite quickly. Not sure what material I use for that. I do have a few bits that I could use, so it's just a case of seeing what works and what I can do with that. So hopefully push on with that one. And that's about it really, besides the bit of thrifting that I did. Nothing really much else to say about. Life-wise, it's another quiet week. We're in autumn, getting into winter. The weather's atrocious. It's cold, it's horrible, it's gone a bit nasty out there. But there you go, that's what we get this time of year, isn't it? And everything else has just been same, I suppose. Just to sort of plod on and try and get stuff done, really. Otherwise, I just try to get some sewing done when I can, you know. So that's about it for me. So if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe, click that bell icon, and that way you'll get a notification of when my videos come out. If you'd like to comment, please do. I do love reading your comments. It's always nice to hear what you're doing, what you're thinking, and what your thoughts are on what I've been doing, or also what you've been up to as well. And if you want to talk amongst yourselves in the comments, please do, because like I say, that's why we come here, isn't it? To make that connection. So I think it's just left me to say thank you very much for watching my video. I look forward to seeing my next video. Bye.
Bye.